I just put a bid on a boat sight unseen, and I'm going to show you how the trade-in process works, how I come up with our numbers, and basically all dealers are going to come up with their trade valuation. And this is important not only if you are a used boat buyer or a new boat buyer trying to trade one in. This video is going to help you see how to protect yourself when you're looking at a used boat, how I come up with valuations for a trade, how much a few of these items cost to repair. And the boat in this video is a 24 Pathfinder TRS 2016. I'm going to show you the numbers, where I get all of that information so that you guys can make a little more educated decision, but also understand why a dealer is not a customer paying you retail for your trade-in. It's not about how much you get on trade, it's about how much you're getting the new boat for. You don't want to see that you're getting what you paid for the boat 10 years ago on trade. You want to see that you are getting a good deal off of MSRP. Let's go in my office, check out the programs I use. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to log on to the Sold Boats or Pro Seller platform that I have. And this isn't something you have, but what it does is it takes the data from Yacht World and Boat Trader and puts it all in one place so that I can see it. So you guys can log on to Yacht World or Boat Trader and check out all the listings. It just might take a little more time. So I've got the length, 23 to 24, year 2014 to 2018. And what this is going to do is kind of hone in on all the boats that are on the market. I've got 25 hybrids here showing up first. Here's a 24 TRS. Clearly we have a show 250, canvas T-top, Minn Kota Turova on the bow, and a single power pole with a jack plate. All right, so this boat is in Largo, Florida, Tampa. 600 hours, pretty good comp. 68.9 they're asking for a 2016 to 2015 boat. That's what I got. No bottom paint, full custom boat cover, canvas top. However, it looks pretty dang clean. Clearly kept in a marina. 12-inch Garmin, VHF radio. Upholstery's a little shot. Okay, good enough. This boat's been on the market for 139 days. It's a long time. Too long. Clearly, the price is incorrect. And to me, that's a $60,000 boat max retail. So then up here, I've got the ability to click sold. All right, I got a topless one here that sold for $65,000. Not going to use that. Here's one, radar. Trailer, trolling motor. This is a good one. It was sold in January of 2026. Sold for $61,000. So Fort Myers Marine's more local of a boat, and Fort Myers Marine's selling it. Listed on the market for 62 days. So right here, I'm seeing this boat that I'm getting has no trailer. It has a trolling motor, radar, power poles, and 300. This boat, 731 hours, so pretty close comp. And it's got a trailer. Sold for 61 grand. So I'm starting to feel good about where my gut thought we should be. Okay, so this is another site I use. It's called Buck Value Pro. I pay a couple $100 for 6 months of use here. I'm just going to search. Now this helps me more so with banks and financing. Total adjusted market value range. This is what the banks look at. This is what people care about when they are lending the money on the product. They don't care about the goodies or the add-ons. So 46 to 50, not all banks are going to use this, but it's a good gauge. I'm honing in on a number around 43,000, and that is what I think is fair based on me having to do maintenance work to the boat, get it up to snuff, and list it for somewhere in the 54.9 area to 59.9, and hopefully we can make our 10%. And if we don't, break even and have a happy customer at the end of the day. All right, so now that I've got the initial online, check my comps, look into what I think the boat's worth and where I can sell it for, it's time to actually see the boat. And I've already seen the boat, and I thought this is a great video idea to show you guys what you can expect and not expect when buying a boat. But here it is. I'm going to turn the camera around for you. And at this point, after I already put my number on it, I like to commit to that number so that we basically, because once you make a deal and you change the situation on the buyer, it kind of gets weird. So I'll only change that if there's something seriously wrong with the boat or weird. But one thing I didn't take into consideration was bottom paint, and that's because the boat was stored in the barn in the back. And honestly, when I laid my eyes on it, I was like, what the heck did I just get into here? So the boat hasn't been detailed in clearly years, but the main thing that really turned me off was the bottom paint, because that really depreciates a boat by a solid 10% in my opinion, on especially in like a bay boat or a boat that just does not need to have bottom paint. These are some of the costs you have to think about. So bottom paint, now I have to think, do we want to remove the bottom paint or do I want to repaint the bottom? But then you need to look over everything on the boat like you're buying it yourself, because basically I am buying the boat with our money, company's money here, and putting hopefully an educated bet on the fact that we can clean it up, sell it, and try and make our 10% profit that keeps the lights on and the business flowing and helps pay my mortgage. That's pretty sweet. This is a brand new Minn Kota Instinct Quest, major positive. We've got definite dock rash, dings. Most of this will polish out. And on the hull from this side, it looks good. And then we're just gonna look all over. We're looking underneath the boat for maybe barnacle growth, weird bumps, which is very challenging to see when there's bottom paint. So far, I haven't seen any fiberglass damage, which is a real positive. No dock dings, just rubs and a detail it's looking like. Things to consider now, we've got bottom paint, at least repainting it or removing it. That's a cost I got to figure out. Full detail on this boat's probably $600 or $700 to make it look right, and I was told there's about 550 hours on this boat here. So we're gonna hop up in it and check it out. You can see heavy rust, corrosion. Nothing too scary. We do see a lot of this on boats in the marina, but sometimes it can be scary because you also see that on a boat that's lived in the water for its whole life. Now, coming up in the boat, from a distance, it looks kind of nice, the sea deck, and then you see little problems everywhere. You got like, really don't know what happened here. Either a cat got up in this boat. Really gives for a little bit of an ugly look there on the back deck and midship here. And looking it all over, everything is dirty, but you have to look past that because that detail is going to take care of it, and that's something I would probably do either way. First step here, go through the boat on land, then run it through the shop. Basically, going through the boat on land lets me know, okay, I'm not dealing with a total piece of junk here, or we can continue to move forward on the plan to do business. Then we run it through the shop, hook it up to the laptop, run compression. On these older Pathfinders, usually you'll see some kind of cracking around the lids, spider cracking, or blown out hinges. This is a forward live well. Seized up hinges just from no use. A custom spring there, put in aftermarket. But no gel coat cracking or anything yet to worry about. And it's important to really look everywhere throughout the entire boat, not just for the hatches and fiberglass, but use your eyes and make sure you're looking for everything. Another thing to check out is, well, obviously we have seats on the boat and the upholstery, and to me this looks like it's been recovered. I don't remember these colors coming from the factory with this texture material, but it's old and it could be how it came. So got a forward cooler, nice. That is a nice feature to have, factory built insulated cooler. And then access to the batteries, pumps, everything in there. I'll give that a little more thorough look in a bit. You'll notice that sea deck issue is everywhere. Powder coating starting to bubble here. It's going to lead to trouble in the future, but you know, on a 10-year-old boat, it's not really that bad. Underneath, it's actually already peeling off under there. But this upholstery is probably in need of replacement. And here we'll see, these are the original factory seats. So this was an afterthought. Now the bilge is a very important area to look on a boat. And some things to consider. A few more things to look into. Like, multiple hatches have had dead pieces of whitebait on the boat. So most likely not getting rinsed off thoroughly every time, and you can see that with the corrosion everywhere. But we're going to pop our head in the bilge and see how things are looking. Just a little mildew. This hatch looks good, no issues. Coming to the back, got our 2 power pole pumps for the blades. Right here we've got a saltwater wash down, live well pumps. A couple of these look like they've been replaced recently. Fuel water separator, not done by Yamaha dealer. So I do not have all the service records on this boat, and I'm going to be interested to see what the mechanics in the shop say. Little visibility into the hull, and I see a monster transducer down there. That's interesting. Looks like a 1 kW, but all the hinges look good here, just dirty. Ground block down here, pretty corroded. I don't see any kind of real water line like the boat would have sunk, and that's something to pay attention to. And all these things you got to consider, because you're going to spend your money as a buyer. I'm spending the money as a trade. And really the main thing behind a trade is, when you sell one of these boats, a used boat, new boat, everyone wants it to be new and expects everything to be new. So even if the boat's 10 years old and something's not working, expectations are at a point where the customer, for some reason, just thinks they're buying a new boat no matter what. You do see a little bit of a water line here, but that's probably just mold and mildew from not proper draining, not having proper drainage. Alright, so we're going to run the boat through the shop, motor download, compression. If all's good, we're going for a boat ride, and we'll bring you along. Okay, they got the inspection completed, and I've got the Yamaha diagnostics in front of me. Overheated 2 times, last occurrence 524 hours. So just gonna run it up to temp speed today and make sure we don't have any issues on our C-Trob. Other things we do, we just run through, the technician will hit all these switches, but I'm gonna do that on the water and show you some of that. And then here's our compression and battery voltage. Compression 190, 180, 175. Now this was probably done cold, not run, hadn't run the engine. It's definitely good to do compression hot or shortly after running the motor. Batteries all low voltage, but they're new, so you need to get them on charge and make sure everything's good there. And like I said earlier, that wasn't a Yamaha fuel water separator. Lower unit oil is good or okay, but it's mercury lube. Not a fan of that. All right, it's time to go for a boat ride. They got the mechanical inspection done. I put my eyes on it, and now it's time to test out everything on the water. 2016 Pathfinder. I don't really know of any major issues with it, but some of the older Pathfinders definitely had an issue with stringers, and I'm going to try and find some rough water to run the boat perpendicular to the waves, into the waves, make sure everything's tight and right, and run it up to full throttle RPM. And we're just going to flip switches, check it all out. But here it is in the water, and it's still floating, so we're doing all right. Okay, nice thing here. This is an NSS 16 Evo 3. So this is not the original unit in the boat, but it's definitely not brand spanking new either. They're onto the NSS Evo 4. but a great unit. I like these for the ability to use Florida Marine tracks.
And the buttons. It's nice to have buttons. I know touchscreens have come a long way, but
so far the touchscreen, the buttons, everything's working great. My customer's buying the exact same boat, 11 years, 10 years newer, with the new hull design and a tower, dual station. I asked AI what it thought this boat was worth, because I have customers every day tell me what they should pay for a boat and what their trade-in is worth. And AI valued this 2016 Pathfinder 24 TRS at $90,000 in fair condition, which is the dumbest thing ever. So to all the people that use AI and try and value their trade-in, you can do a little more research yourself instead of just asking AI for advice. But most of the time, AI is nice for a quick, easy answer, but it doesn't have access to the tools that I have as a dealer, doesn't have all the data yet, and probably won't for a little while to come, to get yourself an exact, accurate estimate. The most expensive costs to deal with here are bottom paint, the detail, a few hinges need to be replaced, and the sea deck is a major, I don't know what to do yet with it, because it's pretty nasty everywhere. Oh yeah, and the upholstery. So with the bottom paint, looking at about 2,500 bucks, detail 700 bucks. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cushions that need to be replaced. Probably another 1,000 bucks. Sea deck. Every piece of sea deck is cut, has big gouges in it, and in some spots are peeling up off the edges. I don't even want to know what that would cost to replace, but it's probably $3 grand and not worth doing. So I'm going to look into getting it removed maybe. But we're at about $5 grand just to make it presentable before we've even tested the live well pumps, made sure the steering doesn't have any air in it. We're going to do that now. How's the steering feel? Any air in it?
I don't know, it's a little flutter to it. I'm no pro, but
it's moving instantly.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I think it's fine right now. Well, there's a little air in it. I have to check why. There's a little bit of air, not a lot. You can see things like this to look for. Obviously this kick panel's been removed a time or two. Probably nothing. As we saw inside, the console was very clean. Probably have to just clean that up too with our detail. Once you hit that toggle switch, ooh.
oh, son,
jeez.
I saw your sunglasses go.
That works.
Horn works.
All right. Horn does not work. That was on my list of things broken by the mechanic technician. Check that. Motor sounds good. Running 3,800 RPM right now, and it's got plenty of power. Definitely sounds good. All right, sea trial got so far so good. We're gonna hit the switches, just make sure everything's working. Not gonna bore you with all that, but testing the live wells, the lights, the trolling motor, all the good stuff, as well as the autopilot. All right, we're gonna bring it up to full throttle, wide open RPM. We just had a little bit of a chop there. T-top was solid. Something to look for on an older boat. Make sure the T-top is solid, attached, well attached to the deck, and you're not gonna have any issues on these Pathfinders. They have aluminum reinforcement in the deck when you get the factory hard top. Definitely one thing to do, not beat on the boat, but run it up to full spec RPM. Make sure we don't have an overheat like we saw in the Yamaha download. This boat had 2 overheats in its lifetime. Common on a boat with a jack plate, you're running it a little too high. We're going for 6,000 RPMs here. Maybe a little less because we got a 4-blade prop and it's set for whole shot. goes. And that's because of the 4-blade prop. So this boat is overpropped with a 4-blade, gives you a way better hole shot, worse fuel economy, and worse top speed. I'm a big fan of a nice 3-blade prop like a Yamaha Saltwater Series 2. We hit a top speed of almost 50 miles an hour. Had we had a 3-blade, this boat would have done just shy of probably 58, 60 miles an hour, I believe, because we had another 1,000 RPM to go. Let's get back to the dock, run the numbers, and I'll let you know what I think and how I think we're going to make out with this boat. Alright guys, it's time to run down the numbers, why I think the trade number that I'm going to give works, and basically you can use some of this information not only to find your next used boat, how important it is to factor in all the costs that you have to deal with going forward if you make the purchase, but you cannot expect as a private party sale and individual that you're going to have the ability to basically buy a boat at these kind of numbers. And I'm not hiding anything. If the seller of this boat sees the video, everything's accurate, real, no bullshit fluff. It's all the real deal. So when he is trading the boat in at $43,000, that's the number I gave him. I don't want to change my number on it at all. I initially started at $40,000 with him, and it was not enough to get the deal done. So I came up to $43,000 and we put a deal together. Now, at $43,000, you're going to say, well, it's a 24 Pathfinder. That's worth 70 grand, just like AI said. But AI actually, don't use AI to buy a boat. Like, use it to research, but use your own friggin' brain to buy the boat. Like, AI told me I should put $90,000 on this thing, or I should be able to sell it for $90,000. This boat's worth, if in a dream world, $60K. I've showed you the comps. I showed you the problems. This boat was actually a taxi to go from our marina to one of the out islands here. And that's why the bottom paint and the hours. 600 hours on a 2016 300. Not ideal for a resale flip kind of thing. And if you're going to buy a boat with 600 hours, you have to think, well, when I go to sell it in 2 years, 3 years, and I have 800 or 900 hours, that in the boat world used is like disgusting. I don't really understand that concept, but when I've had many boats here with 700, 800, 900 hours, and people are like mega turned off, and you just can't get past it. So 43 grand, no matter what. The bottom paint's ugly. We have to professionally bottom paint the boat. That's $2,400. I get charged $100 a foot. The boat's got 589 hours. I didn't really know that going into it, and I didn't know it had bottom paint. So 589 hours, that bad boy's due for a full 600-hour service, so an annual, basically. But then I have to look back and go, did it have the timing belt done at 500 hours or when it was supposed to? Or I just have to, I'm not saying the timing belt has to be done, but what needs to be done at those hours? Because there's a large 500-hour service. I'm figuring we're going to spend $1,500 easy there. Bottom paint, $2,400. $1,500 on the service. So now we're at $3,900. And we haven't touched the detail. There were fiberglass repairs that are minor, but details $700. So we're at $4,600. I'm going to put a miscellaneous $500 on the live well pump that we couldn't really tell if it was operational or intermittent. A couple hinges, screws, and fiberglass work. So I'm going to say we got $5 grand to put here. $43,000, now $48,000. And like I said, the customer after the fact, we have a liability to deal with after this boat leaves. And we're not warrantying the used boat, but God forbid something major happened, We don't want to be a crappy dealership. So 49,000, mark it up 20%. 20, we're going to use round numbers here, 50, we're at 60 grand. That's $60,000 asking price. 59.9, because earlier in the video I showed you a 24 Pathfinder with all the goodies on a trailer, and it sold for 61 without bottom paint. So we're going to ask 59.9, and we're going to get an offer of 55 grand. That's how it works. Is it really worth getting nearly $50,000 into this boat, putting out our own money to make 10%? And people in the comments are probably going to say, "You greedy pig, you're going to make 10%, but that's how I make a living." And while you're at it, check out this YouTube channel, Outboards Only, and hit the subscribe and like button, because it's super easy to do. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me a lot. So if you enjoy my videos, appreciate them, hit subscribe and like. Say we're at 50K, because at the end of the day, that's probably where we'll end up. Then we're going to try and make 10%. It sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot at all. At the end of the day, the whole game, everything requires a lot of work. My costs are cheaper than your costs, most likely. And we got to keep the lights on, pay the great employees. Everybody has to kind of make a living to keep the world turning. And hopefully, I'm not boring you here, but it's Friday night. And you as a buyer need to worry about protecting yourself. You need to worry about what you're going to pay for the boat. As in, the new boat you're buying, if you're trading it in, you have to worry about that new boat price. Also, think about what your boat's worth, but be real. If you're getting a great deal on the new boat, you can't expect to get a great deal on your boat and then sell your boat to the dealer for retail. It's pretty unrealistic. You get a great deal on the new boat, and the dealership has to be able to make money on the new boat, and the dealership has to be able to make money on your trade, or else they just go out of business. And it's kind of like a gray area that nobody really talks about, but the way I like to do it with my customers, without playing the shell game, you've got your boat here, your new boat over here. Let's knock out this price on the new boat, be real on the used boat, and know you're not going to get retail. And the difference at the end of the day is the same whether you play the shell game or not. So the shell game is when I give you $53,000 for this trade, and I made an extra 10 grand on the new boat. And then after you drive away and go, "Oh, I got 53 grand. I go, "No, you got 43, dude. I just made an extra 10 grand on you too." It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the difference between the two numbers are the same. So it's all about the front end, being fair on both sides of that, and buying the boat properly. I hope you can use this video to not only learn how to properly inspect a boat, but how a dealer that has to protect themselves inspects a boat. Everything I did here is how I do it every time, and it works. I've been doing this for 15 years. Understand, AI is a joke right now. In a couple years, it's probably going to be crazy and replace me. Not on YouTube, but maybe. Who knows? Understand that AI is a joke. Don't use that to make decisions for yourself. And you can spend like an hour yourself just looking at comps and doing all those things to make sure you know not only is the new boat a good deal or a bad deal, but are you being treated fairly? And when you rush into things, it's not a good move. Like if you rush into a dealership and you're like, "Oh, they're getting what we paid for the boat 10 years ago." It's fake. Think about real numbers and how it's going to affect you later, because and it really, really matters when you're rolling like negative equity, dealing with a loan where you are upside down. Like, just be careful. And if you feel like you benefited from this video, but you have some questions or anything, shoot me an email. My email is in my description on YouTube. and I'd love to answer them and help you with your next purchase. If you're looking at new boats, used boats, just give me a call. That's what I do for a living. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.